This is part one of our Inside the Paranormal World series on Darkness to Light. How will the coronavirus affect paranormal investigation in the future? Sean Crucia, Stacy Mitchell, and Kelly Jo Monahan gave us their perspectives. Coming up next on Darkness to Light.
A really cool situation where a male spirit was playing poker with us in the poker room of the St. James Hotel in Cimarron, New Mexico. There's a lot of history with one of the rooms consistently being locked, room 18, and it's supposed to be super, spooky. And as most of us know, if something's intelligent, it's not going to necessarily be in a particular room consistently. It's going to move around the location. And yet they seem to have the room blocked as if it's, like a super duper spooky room. But in actuality, I'm going, well, because I was telling somebody, hey, well, he's coming down the hallway right now because I can see him. And, so I always get a kick out of people that think that if an intelligent spirit only stays generally in one location.
Right.
But it was really interesting how he interacted with my mail meter on cue to, and he ended up actually wiping me out completely. He beat me.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Yeah, so my friend was still competitive with him, but at the same time, I'm telling you, I got wiped out. I was like, oh man, and I could see his cards. And then at the end of the session, I said, "Are you cheating?" Actually, she said, "Are you cheating?" It's a friend of mine, Beth. She's another fellow investigator. She asked if he was cheating, and then she realized, oh, I guess I shouldn't ask him if he's cheating, because remember that he can look at all of our cards. So, so it's one of those things.
That's so cool. You're going to have to write a book about all of that stuff, Sean.
Yeah, it's incredible.
So, Sean, did this happen on the last investigation that you did for TV, or was this something else?
Oh, this is on Cimarron, New Mexico. But the thing is, the reason I brought it up is because a friend of mine just did a podcast, and she submitted to, I don't know the name of the other podcast, and it was neat to kind of get an extra, bit of information, because they went into the history of the St. James and so forth. But then at the end, kind of went into the story that my friend and fellow investigator Beth Nixon had kind of piped in and told them about our 30-minute poker game with Spirit, in which he proceeded to beat me.
Okay. So today, everybody, thank you so much for attending. I just wanted to let you know I have two reasons for doing this podcast today. The first is that I'm celebrating my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you so much. It's actually tomorrow, but I'm celebrating today.
Why not? Why not? That's the way it rolls.
Exactly.
And well, it's not every day you turn 20, right?
Right.
Well, I need to add a few years to that. I'm actually 49.
There you go. All right. Well, that's okay. I'm older than you. It's all good.
Okay. Well, that's all right. And also, we have a new president. So I pray that, all goes well the next 4 years, and that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to talk about the politics. I've had enough. Everybody asking me who's going to win and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was excruciating, waiting to find out who in fact was going to win and all of that. But
crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, I dreamed it was going to be blue anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew Trump was going to win the last time, and I knew it was going to be this. Yeah. Because I always told my friends that were Clinton. I'm like, I'm sorry. And this time I'm like, not. I just didn't feel good. I didn't think Trump was going to do it. I'm not going to tell you how I voted, but yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys, since you guys are psychics, what do you think about the next 4 years? What's your feeling on that?
It depends on what focus. What is there a particular area you want to look at?
Well, let's talk about the coronavirus. Let's start with that. Do you think that Biden will be able to improve that situation? There's been more than 200,000 deaths now. So, obviously his platform in dealing with that was of major concern for everybody.
I don't think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Stacey.
Okay. Well, I think kind of back to the first question a little bit. I think that the next 4 years is going to be major eye openers, and I mean coming from every direction, not just because we have a new president, but because the cap's kind of blown off the thing, the coronavirus, I believe it's going to just, this is going to sound crazy. I'm sticking it out there though. I think it's going to disappear. Okay. I think we're going to be done with it. And I've thought that all along. I have a lot of people that are friends in the medical field, and maybe that's the reason I feel the way that I do about it. But I think that a lot of things are going to be wrapped up in a whole bunch of brand new nightmares are going to be opened up, but they need to be. That's my take on it.
Okay, sounds great. Kelly, what do you think?
Well, I think that they're going to come up with something towards the end of 2021, but the COVID will still be here, till the end of 22, because it'll be floating around. I see a lot more insecurities and stuff, like Stacey said, it's going to be revealed, but we're going to have a level offing in the third year.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yes.
Okay, Sean, what do you say?
Well, I've been trying to avoid it completely, but I'll be honest, I feel like it's going to fizzle out quite a bit. I think a lot of the efforts that have been put forth are still, underway, and I'm not going to give credit to one area or the other. I just feel like it's definitely going to, remember that we're looking at 19, right? That means that there were so many different variations previous to that. And as things change, I see things changing again. So that doesn't mean it's going to go away. It means it's going to alter its path and change again. So I can't say that it's going to completely go away, but when you ask the question, they show me things. And when you asked the question, I heard fizzle out. That's exactly what I heard verbatim. Mm-hmm. So that tells me that it is going to fizzle out. It is going to dwindle. But at the same time, I do feel like in the future, there's going to be alterations or changes within the virus itself.
Well, it does mutate.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay, well, that's positive. That's great news. For you guys, businesses as psychics, how will this affect you going into the future? Will you continue to do more investigations in person or online? Let's start with you, Stacey.
Well, I refuse to live in fear. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to make anybody else sick, but I have not changed much about how I do things. I will go out, I will investigate, I meet with people. I do a lot of like FaceTime and phone sessions, but I have clients in lots of other states too. So I've always kind of done that, just more lately. But as far as like events, that part of what we do has been locked down. So we've lost that, which is huge. I like to be around people and feel the energy and do group things. And so that's been big. But as far as the way that I do things, I just refuse to be in fear. I am just trying to live my life as close to normal as I can and still be respectful of everybody else's, the way that they feel, and just try to, one foot in front of the other, really.
Okay, great. Kelly?
Well, like she said, I'm careful, because of, the virus, but I haven't changed that much. I still do, my phone work, and, you know, I help a lot of people that way. That hasn't changed at all. So,
Sounds good. And Sean.
Well, obviously things change a little bit. I do read at a store, and they gave me an option of reading over the phone or reading in person, and I chose to go in person. They built this plexiglass divider which gives somebody else a sense of security, but I generally go off of my intuition, and my guides tell me if there's something to be concerned about, and I trust that.
Yeah.
I do read at the store. I had an in-person reading 2 hours ago. I do a whole lot more video chats and video readings than ever before, but it's not about my fear. It's about the client's fear, and they do need help often, or they do need some sort of something. And so they come to me, and I'm not going to refuse them in whichever mechanism or method they want to come to me. I do have another case Wednesday, and then I have another one on Saturday. And that means I need to physically be there. So I'm not going to back down from any of this to not help a family that's in need. So it's one of those things where I'm going to keep pressing and keep helping people wherever and whenever I'm called to help.
That's right.
Okay, great. So the main topic tonight, guys, is psychic readings. And, I thank all of you for being part of this podcast because, there's several people out there that are not regarded as legitimate or authentic. And, I really, really regard you guys as legitimate and authentic in what you do, not only because of your service, but, you guys were born with this gift. And it's not something that you automatically turn off once your job is finished for the day. So for all of those listening to us, when it comes to palm reading, when it comes to tarot card readings, we're going to talk about that today. So let's start with tarot card readings. Do any of you guys do that?
I
Yes.
do.
So Kelly and Stacy, what about you, Sean?
I do Lenormand cards if they need it. Most of the time I don't need it, but some people are visual, so they prefer to see something. So I back up with what I tell them through the cards and explain it to them. And it generally, I tell them first, and then it shows in the cards,
Right.
and I'm like, well, there it
Yes.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
I just use it as a tool so they ain't thinking about changing the baby's diaper or doing dishes.
There you go. That's exactly right. Whatever errand they got to do.
No, Sean's right though about like giving people visuals. People want to see. It's boring just to sit there across from me and listen to me talk. I want to be able to show you stuff. And if I can show you, I can tell you, I can show you with cards, I can show you with whatever. I use a lot of different things. But if I can make those layers, all those layers of validation, people, they like that, and it makes them feel more comfortable. And it works well with people.